Hey guys, what's up? I'm gonna do a replay analysis today. I was asking around for someone to share me a replay for a long time, and I finally got one. So we're gonna do that. Jump over here. Oh, it's the first one on the list. So okay, okay, he's a one chev, and it's Supreme Isthmus 1.7. Jeez. Okay, so I'm not sure what we're getting into. Cancel. Oh, I have to download the map. I've never played Isthmus 1.7. And it's a 54-minute game. Change my name to Tehard Stuck OS 25 Error. So, first thing I want to do is look at the map and see what it's like compared to the current iteration of Isthmus. And then we're going to see if he's actually one chev or a smurf. Trees look different. Looks like there's less energy for the tech. Still 4 max. About the same. This looks about the same. I think there may be more metal here. I think the island only has 2 in the newer version. This has a little extra max. So this map is getting kind of popular again. And just looking at it, I like it. Because there's more mechs on it. I don't know. Oh, it's Legion. Well, let's look at the ranges. Our highest OS player is 24. Lots of low chev gameplay, so I'm not sure how excited I am about this, but this guy asked for a replay. Okay, replay analysis. So first off, first thing you do when you land is take 2 mechs or more. Let's look at the wind. Wind is really good. Title is 21. You know, I've been thinking about this. Why do people go title? Other than I guess it's a guarantee, but where 2 windmills would be producing an average of 28 and 1 title would be 21, wind is better. It's just, it costs a little bit more energy and maybe build time. 2190. Okay, so these actually build faster. Okay, I see why. Alright. So Yeppers is our subject today. You did a little bit of a walk there, so you want to start towards the middle and then grab the mechs around. So you could easily just land in the center and take all these 3 mexes. Now if you're gonna go wind, definitely make it after your second mex, and then you would grab your third mex. So that's good. but you didn't finish this, so you're kind of jumping from one thing to the other. I think this, I think the, based on where your energy is at, like you watch the wind, you don't want to overflow. You want to build this so that you're kind of like almost having your build bar full. Okay, I like this. Building wind when you're building. Okay, you're no longer building energy while you're spending more energy than you have coming in. So I always prefer to get the winds up quicker. So there's some con walking here. You want to prevent that. Sending the con out's good. I'm going to do some theory crafting on this position in particular. I would open with a resbot and eat the trees and get your 2 cons out. I think that's how you would do it. Okay, yeah, you'd I'm not sure how one. Okay, so there's people that have done very in-depth analysis to these build orders, but if you open with a resbot and eat the trees, you can get your calm walking and grabbing all these mechs sooner. That'll get your eco going faster. And you have to make a bid for this island. So usually what people do is ask for a heavy transport to drop their comm there. I know it's definitely super common for this island, but it's like I wouldn't recommend playing Supreme because the map is so figured out, and also it's not representative of real bar gameplay because you're not going to be fighting over. There's not going to be a whole lot of fight over map control except for these C positions. And the map is really big, so this replay is an hour long. And a big part of that is just going to be the map size. So I actually am a huge Supreme hater. People who play Supreme, I'm not even like, this is demonstrably true. It takes them at least like 33% more time to get to the same skill level. So I wouldn't recommend, in my experience, every time I've looked, like I have 2,000 hours in the game almost. A guy with 28,000 has about, and only plays Supreme, has the same rating as me. And this is me like putting my time between a whole bunch of different things, different game modes. So I think at one point you e-stalled, so this seems like a lot of cons to me. I think what people like to do in this position is, well, what I would definitely do is, okay, there's a few things going on here. There's a lot of things going on. So I think you stop building wind. So you're stalling E right now, which is going to prevent you from like spending your metal. So you have to think of this in like an order of things that you need to have accomplished. You need metal to spend, you need energy, and then you need energy to spend that metal. And then you need the build power to spend the energy to spend the metal. I think, is that right? You always need to be looking for ways to get your economy going really fast. So I think you built this I fast forwarded this. I just noticed the con turret, right? So the con turret you probably didn't have the energy for. Before you build the con turret, you want to have a bunch of wind, and it's more. I can't tell you an exact art like while I'm watching this and I'm looking at this because like in my head this is an unlikely situation, so it's like it's hard for me to process and like compare to a real situation. Um, Maybe we could look at what what this player is doing. Okay, this is also not good. Um, so I don't know if it's you have a resbot. So the resbot's supposed to be eating the trees right now. So you want a bunch of wind, and as soon as you start being unable to spend that wind, you build an energy storage. And I get like this is you definitely any wind map you need energy storage, but what's happening in here is you're also building a geo, which it's really expensive. If you look at this, it's your con is going to be spending so much energy trying to build this, and I think it's on high priority, but I can't really tell you. This guy is, yeah, it's going to be spending at least 76 energy a second to be building that with one con, and yours is only spending like 32 right now, so you're stalling even harder than the other guy. So you get your energy situation worked out, and it's always going to be your number one priority, other than also taking all of your mechs. This is also really bad. You have cons on high priority while you're stalling, and you're spending so much over. Like, your cons will be getting the energy before your metal extractors when you have high priority on and you're stalling. I think the metal extractors are probably the last thing that get cut though. But this is, you don't ever want this to happen. This is like your economy is completely halted at this point. Your metal income. So you want to pay attention to this, micromanage your base a whole bunch, um, especially when you're e-stalling. So if you're e-stalling, uh, don't be afraid to build solar when the wind is bad, especially when the wind is bad. But building solar really isn't that bad. If you get yourself in a situation like this, you have to dig yourself out. Building solar is the only way that's going to get you dug out, and then you can reclaim it later. So also you don't want to be building an energy storage when you have no energy to store. So like in this situation, what I would do is I would cut everything and just build a whole bunch of wind or solar or whatever. But this con would, at very least, I would take it off high priority, so that, and then anything building energy would be high priority. So all those things are going to put you way behind. I think you're building way too many cons. I think maybe like the max number of cons that you want in this position on the ground is like 5, unless you're wind scaling super hard. But I wouldn't be worried about that right now. Worry about getting your eco up. Also, spread out your winds. Spread out your con turrets so that they will chain and all blow up all at once. Sentry turret, I mean, you might want these at some point, but that point is not now. I would definitely recommend just watching somebody do like a typical build order for this. Don't build the A solar before your geo is done, for sure. But the wind is so good on this map, just don't build A solar on this map. I don't think. Wind's pretty nuts on Supreme. Now you have all these rocks, so don't forget to reclaim those rocks. And you're doing a whole bunch of different projects all at once, and you're stalling on metal, which makes it worse. But like, your first priority should be, like, once your energy situation is good, you get the geo finished, and then you make some converters, like after you start floating E energy. And now you're making titles. So you have titles are not, I mean, on this map they're not awful, but 2 wins is like 20, 30 plus energy. 1 title is, or for the same metal, you're gonna get way more energy out of wind on this map, like just per metal. And you're not at a point where you should be thinking about like min-maxing, like thinking about like, okay, the title is better on build power and it's more consistent. I mean, that's true. You may not even be thinking about it in those terms right now, but definitely choose one project at a time that you're gonna dedicate your cons to. You don't need all these cons when you're not in Eat This Factory. Once it's not gonna be doing much of anything, and you have some options for this island, but definitely don't ignore the island. Your com can walk up here and take it. You see how like you have not built a single military unit, and it's 7 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, and your opponent is all these frigates and stuff. So we could compare the ecos here before the T2 cons come out. He's produced 7.31 thousand metal. You have produced 6.25. You actually have produced more energy, which might have been like the geo going up. These positions are a bit asymmetric. He may also be, yeah, see, he's relying on title. That's probably another reason why you're so ahead on energy. It's interesting to me that the metal difference isn't much bigger than it is. I guess you start with a lot more stuff in the land, so it's a little bit more complicated for him to get into the water. He definitely played this position wrong. um, you can skip the bot lab and just be requesting things in that position. I think the next thing is, your lane isn't being aggressive, but you're also not making any bid for these metal spots. You absolutely have to be making an effort to take these metal spots. I mean, you're making defenses. I feel like a lot of things are going wrong here. um, like this tech player is not. He's sharing. He's making stuff out of his advanced bot lab before he's upgrading any of his mexes. I think you need to upgrade at least one or two before you start sharing things. So this guy is also kind of screwing the team. Is As a tech player, like, you can't do this. You're screwing the entire team over. Because you're gonna be stalling and stalling and stalling. So this is this is really weird. Another thing you can do is look up guides on like how to scale. I'm really surprised that all of these converters are online. I think other people on your team are probably floating energy, so that's why you're able to keep these going. You somehow have 2,000 metal or energy income. I don't know where it's coming from. Except that it's just like supreme. What's 33 times? Okay, I believe the math, but I want to see what you do with your T2 con once you get it. This spot is, both of the C's are pretty much carry positions. And he walks your con to you. What a guy. Make sure you're spacing your con turrets. As soon as you get your T2 con, this needs to be on high priority. Everything else is not important until you get the mechs upgraded and then your geo upgraded. So what you can do is take all these bot cons that you have and have them assist the advanced one. Put them all on high priority, and then you'll upgrade these super fast. You see you're stalling on E right now, and you have a bot lab that's not going to be doing anything. So you can just eat it. You can also put your comm on it too. You know, the funniest thing about this is that your eco is one of the best out of this entire team. I don't know what hell Blue has been going through recently. I think if Legion is an option as a C player, you have to be Legion. Simply because the destroyers hit scan, which is incredibly unfair to the other factions. So that's cool. I mean, this guy doesn't have any destroyers, so submarines are actually pretty awful outside of like the first few minutes of the game. Once like they trade really poorly against destroyers, but if the guy doesn't have destroyers, then who cares? And you should stay engaged with this. You should be keeping an eye on this, because at any point this guy, bro, don't make a flagship. Get your maxes upgraded. That should be our top priority. Upgrade the geo, and then you'd be making fusions and stuff back here. And the big thing about this position is that this, if you can at some point, like right now, you can definitely just destroy your opponent, or you're in such a bad you're so poorly out of position that he could just like send his navy and destroy everything you have in the water whenever he wants. And then once these subs destroy all these, see, you had everything you needed, and then he had time to make subs of his own, which is, again, probably the worst option of all of the options that he had that would do anything in this situation. But you're making a flagship, right? Wow. Like, flagships are an endgame unit, and they're also just terrible. If you know if you're gonna lose your lab, I guess you didn't get refunded. So make sure that you cancel the boat before it's over, because that was like 10,000 metal that just disappeared. See, if you had just been aggressive a little bit earlier, he didn't have those he didn't have these subs to counter your subs. A better unit composition would have been destroyers. And then once you went into T2, you could have made Barracudas, or I think they're Buccaneers, or the Armada equivalent, which I'm not too sure what it's called, but it's the one that has torpedoes. There's just so much in this match that's inexcusable. I guess it's a noob lobby, I guess. Now you're making hovers. I'm not too sure if I want to watch this entire replay, because it's going to take really long to do. A really long time to do, at least like another 10-15 minutes, and this is... Don't make a bubble when you're not getting hit by artillery. what you could do in this situation is get back in the water using bots. T2, you have a you have a you can make a advanced bot lab, and I'm not sure if ducks are kind of underwhelmed. Are they called ducks? Yeah, the platypus are really good because they have a torpedo launcher that'll get you back in the sea, but you really want to get back in the sea. And I'm going to stop here. This is a really really super unlikely scenario. So analyzing it is gonna make me mad. Um, I think what you should concentrate on is like hop into a offline game and maybe like what you could do is one thing that I did early on was okay. I want to share some strategies with you of ways that you can learn. Um, One thing I did was I started with the beginning of my playing. I mostly just played tech position, and economy in this game is like by far the most fundamental thing. So if your economy isn't in tip top shape, if there's like huge glaring flaws in your execution in that way, excuse me, and everything is like the economy and the build order and stuff like that is the foundation, and anything built on top of that is like, I think the word is moot. It's pointless to argue about or talk about, like, until you have everything underneath it. I think I'm just repeating myself now. So get that, like, maybe go offline and find a build order, find whatever position you want. I really just would not recommend ever playing Supreme seriously. Uh, Glitters is a bit better because I play a lot of glitters, or I think Rotato, like learn the glitters tech position and get the opening 20 minutes down really good. Learn how to build an aphis stack, and like rush out the fat boy or whatever. Like it's got it it's a way to simplify. There's a lot of things that you got to learn in this game. So if you want to, I think the best way to do it is to learn a simplified position first. Or you could do air. Air position would be like you have to pay more attention and support the team. Tech position would be more really wanting to min max everything. I think I really think that starting with tech would be a great way to start learning. Hmm. Well, welcome to bar. I rage at people a lot. So if you were to, I would recommend definitely playing PvE so people don't like rage at you. um PvE, or learn a specific position. Um, and this person is on a in a Discord with me that I wouldn't recommend talking to people on the official bar Discord because a lot of people just are unhelpful and want to argue and engage in bad faith. But if you can get into a clan server, there's a lot more sanity in those servers. So I've actually learned a lot just having conversations and like working through things, expressing my frustrations, and people offering solutions, and it's great. But if you're in the greater community, you get a lot more idiots and trolls and people who engage in bad faith. So it's good that you're in a clan. Um, it's good that you requested this replay. I'm trying to be as kind about it as I can. And yeah, dude, like I would love to see you put in like well, to be honest, like if assuming you're not a smurf, I think this is actually pretty good for a person who has like what a 5 chev is like between 0 and 5 hours. Like this is actually pretty good, to be honest. um you're playing better than some people who have thousands. Let's be real. There are some people out there that exist. Um yeah, just keep at it. Uh don't don't forget to be taking your maxes or none of that. Really work on your build order. And yeah, I really look forward to seeing maybe an update from you once you get a little farther along. That would be really cool. All right, peace.